Well, well, well. What a day it's been, lads. It is now 20 past 6 p.m. in Ireland. I've been here since 10 a.m. We started streaming at 10 a.m. and I've just been working on this shit all day. I'd have it no other way because this has been one of the more memorable days on this YouTube channel. Yeah, I'll let the video speak for itself. This is my reaction to TesseracT's new album, More of Being. It's the highlight video, but I struggled very much so, hence why I'm still sitting here to actually make highlights from this, because the entire album is one highlight. This is like a 30-minute long highlight video. You guys know I like to keep the highlight videos quite concise, quite short, to the point, but this was such a task. So what you're seeing is the best moments, in my opinion, or the easiest moments to actually get into the video. And if you want to see the full, almost 2-hour long video, it is on patreon.com/DrewFortune. If you just want to support me as a creator, then all the links for that are in the description, guys. Any support is much appreciated. At the end of the video, Ackle from TesseracT was in the chat. I didn't know he was just lurking for the whole video, but he was in the background and then he made himself known. So that was fantastic to speak to him at the end. I did cut out quite a lot because the video was just dragging, but all of that, the conversation that myself and Ackle had and the chat after the fact, is all on Patreon as well. So guys, enjoy this video. I had so much fun. This is a fantastic album. I left all my talking points in at the end as well, which is something I don't normally do for these, but I figured why not. It's TesseracT, my favorite band, and yeah, enjoy the next few months, next few years with this album, guys. I'm so excited. I want this band to do so well, and yeah, enjoy. Leave a like in the video, make sure you're subbed to the channel, and I'll chat to you soon, guys. Cheers. my God. I don't think I've ever been so close to crying on stream before. Oh, that was absolutely amazing. Would anyone be opposed to me just playing that again real quick and then I'll leave it play? I kind of want to hear that again. Wow. Oh, I'm lost for words in this one. That to me is going to take a bit of growing compared to Natural Disaster. Like, Natural Disaster was a first time listen, fucking unbelievable. This hits so much harder on the album. Did anyone notice that? I'm just going to quickly pause it here before we get into the big part of the track. But, sorry, I can't remember what your name is, but is it Dark something who did the video for this? There's a part in the song here, which I noticed while I was like editing the video, that the song sounds like it kind of cuts out and like almost has like a malfunction, but it like matches the video. I'm assuming that was very, very intentionally done with the video, but you can like see Dan like almost looking at the controls as if something's gone wrong, but it like syncs up with the song so well. I thought that was such an amazing like little twist. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in the part that we just heard. I just heard it again there, but it's like the song is synced up so well with the video. I thought that was such a nice little touch. That was it. That was all like intentionally part of the video. Very, very cool touch. Just before the chaos, yeah, it's like everything's malfunctioning and you can see Dan like what, but it like the music sounds like it's shutting off as well. It's so cool.
You said we were everything we needed to be. We held the key together. Did you ever think a woman could mean this much? It's true. It's true.
the next track after this. Oh my god. Bow. Can we get some bow spams in the chat, please? Bow. The words that I whispered when it all began, did they shine a light on you? You don't understand. You dream of falling like some twisted storm. Listening as you nothing else to say here, honestly. I've heard this song so many times, but again, it's gotten better with that context. Like leading from Tender into this is just wow. Try to close my eyes and stay asleep. Did Dan used to be a policeman? Is that true? Now I can't afford to be so reluctant, and we can't afford this life. Dan really put everything into this vocal performance. You can really fucking hear it. Oh, I can't wait to listen to this later with hopefully the full lyrics if they get released somewhere. why they have to cut it out like that, man. Now it's just... Oh. Oh, that one got me. That is beautiful. That is fucking beautiful, man. We've 2 new tracks as well. Fuck. Next one's Burden. Oh my god, it sounds so good.
And the trembling is all I can rely on. Mechanical man, desperate without a plan. So silently come to me. I wash it all away. Someone left to be a castaway. Hear it call to me again. Grease my hubris with a grin. Spit of your curse in my head to take me down again. I feel my bones are weakening. This weight I cannot take it. The gateway is gone. Abandon the soul. I feel the dawn.
There's not been one note this misplaced in this album. Like, everything is so meticulously put together. You can just tell. Like, even the way it outro there, the bang, and then into this flat space and into the last album. This is a masterpiece. I don't care. This is already a masterpiece. I don't even need to hear the last track. Y'all still with me? I closed my eye. I haven't looked at the chat for the last like 10 minutes or so. What? How have they taken my expectations and said, hold up, you know your expectations are already disgustingly high and probably unhealthily high, and you know, so high that it's never gonna live up to them. They've just raised the bar even further. Hearing War of Being and then going on to The Grey, in my opinion, just from now, I have different opinions on that now after hearing the full context of the album, but hearing War of Being such a masterpiece, as in the single that they dropped first, and then The Grey just felt like a little bit of a step down. I think people would agree, but now it's two different tracks completely. Obviously one is the title track of the album, but it did feel like a little bit of a step down. So I was kind of thinking War of Being 11 minutes long, maybe that's like the big track on the album, and then there might be like filler tracks. Then we got Legion like 2 days ago, and that just kind of made me like really believe again. But that kind of set me up. Believing that much that it would be such an amazing album sets you up for disappointment in a certain way. So again, those expectations were like really high again. And now having heard the album again, or having heard the album now in its full format, it's like shattered all expectations I had. And like, I can't believe how consistent the whole thing was. Like, that is absolutely beautiful. I think I seen Paravium earlier on say something along the lines of, and this is no shade at anyone like, you know, Ash or anything like that, but I do kind of agree with what Paravium said, in the sense that, you know, Ash maybe would have reached his capabilities right now. I think Ash is a very particular type of vocalist. So, you know, although a lot of people loved Altered State, me included, Altered State has now got a run for its money with this album for sure. Obviously it's very early days, but straight off the bat, this album is absolutely gorgeous. But what Paravium did mention, and I really like that comment, was that I think Dan's only opening the toolkit. You know, we're only starting to hear all of these different nuanced vocal segments from Dan that we've never really even heard before. And there was even parts on Sacrifice there at the end that I thought it was Ash. So Dan, who was always kind of being like critiqued by people for not being able to create that same atmosphere as Ash has been, you know, doing an Altered State, you know, all of those like doubters or anything along those lines have just been shh. Like, they've just been completely shushed, because that was by far Dan's best vocal performance he's ever had. And in my opinion, I think that's the best vocal performance of the year on any album. It's one of the best vocal performances I've ever heard, which I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect that from Dan. You know, if you look at his previous bodies of work, he's very good on the lower end and the harsher end of vocals, but he's never really touched on those falsetto moments where he goes really high. And this album was almost 50-50. Like, he's really, you know, delved into this new realm of vocal attacks, which is just absolutely insane. I'm blown away by how good he was, and that's only the surface of the entire album. The entire album is phenomenal. Ambience like that is something that very few bands can possess, and I think TesseracT are arguably the best on the planet at doing it. Like, there is no one band gets me as emotional as TesseracT does when it comes to this kind of stuff, and my goodness, they have absolutely blown all expectations out of the water. I think that's better than Take Me Back to Eden. Again, it's a first listen, but that's as close to a perfect album as you're going to get, you know. Take Me Back to Eden is the one album, and obviously Invan Dynamite's Heavener. I think this is way more aligned with my taste, overall, being very progressive, but it almost doesn't even feel like progressive metal. It's weird, because it obviously has a lot of metal elements, whether it be the vocals or the guitars or the drumming, which was absolutely phenomenal from Jay, by the way. It doesn't really even feel like a metal album, you know. It's mad. Like, they've got such an ethereal vibe. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm saying it. They've got this fucking mystic vibe, and even having played the game, you know, I don't know how many of you guys were here with me when I played the game on stream, but like, I felt like I was almost being pulled through this strange land that as they've described it in the game. But yeah, that was absolutely phenomenal stuff, guys. I think that's better for me than Take Me Back to Eden, because Take Me Back to Eden, although it was a very strong album throughout, I think that it does have a skippable track on it, which is Do You Wish That You Love Me. Now, the album is phenomenal, but I think from a technicality standpoint, musicianship across the board, this wipes the floor with anything off of Take Me Back to Eden. Of course, there's some huge fucking fantastic songs on Take Me Back to Eden, but this, from a musicianship standpoint, is leagues above of Take Me Back to Eden. And I feel like the album kind of takes you to a particular place in your mind, you know. You really get taken out of the room that you're in, and you can like close it's like an out of body experience. Whereas Take Me Back to Eden, although the tracks were very emotional and fun, I don't get that same experience. I don't feel like I'm being transported somewhere. But with TesseracT sound overall, I think that maybe the game does help that as well, because I can imagine the landscape that the songs are being played in. So I think this one is, this is my album of the year, like for certain on a first listen. And the thing about this is as well, I think this has a lot more like to digest than something like Take Me Back to Eden. Although Take Me Back to Eden songs are absolutely amazing. They are fantastic. I feel like, you know, I'm kind of over them now. I've heard them a good few times after they first come out, and I don't think there's much to like decipher beyond the tracks. There is obviously a lot of, I guess, like Easter egg stuff that calls back to different albums, but I think this album has like months upon months of replay value, whether it be just one particular track. Like War of Being, I'm still trying to unpack, and that came out God knows how many fucking weeks ago. You know, I'm still trying to wrap my head around Natural Disaster, let alone get through the rest of the album. So that was absolutely amazing, guys. I'll just say, like, it's above a 9.5 for me. I'll say a 9.9. I just don't, I'm looking at it here. The only thing I'd maybe pull it back on a little bit is Echoes, which was the second track. It just didn't get me too much. It's hard to really critique it anywhere. Again, it's going to take so many listens. The singles got better, especially The Grey. That wasn't my favorite single in the world. It wasn't my favorite TesseracT track in the world. It would be very hard to compete with War of Being, you know, being the track that followed it. But I think everything they've done with this album, whether it be the fact that they've done like the London thing, which Peter in the chat was there at, where they met up with the fans, and they have the whole VR new game experience, and the videos all tied so much in with the theme. It feels like this is like being in the works for decades, this kind of an album, to you know, to pull it all together and to actually execute the plan is, you know, I have to tip my hat to them. Like, this is absolutely amazing. Like, it's just it's been a fantastic year for Dan, a really breakout year, because he's been on the scene for so long, but I feel like he just never really gets the credit he deserves, and me included. You know, I've never really put him in that upper echelon of vocalists. I've always had TesseracT in my upper echelon of bands, but that's just because of all the other things I've discussed already. Now I think Dan really has earned his spot as a fucking S tier vocalist after this. He's just come on leaps and bounds. For anyone who maybe joined late or anything like that, but I'll also have a highlight video out for YouTube as well. So Ackle's here. No way. Ackle, man, were you here for the whole thing? What's Ackle's his name on Twitch? Sorry, I don't know what his username is. Well, it couldn't be more obvious than that. Ackle TesseracT, how are you, my friend? It's great to have you. Oh my god, were you here for the whole stream? That album blew my fucking mind, my friend. Man, I'm so excited to see you guys in January as well. Oh my god, it's gonna be such a long wait at this point. But, or is it February? I don't know, I'm getting so many dates mixed up. But wow, I wonder what Ackle's name is on Twitch. Amazing. How's everything flowing for you today? What's the feels like? Were you up early, excited? Had 2 hours sleep looking after my little one, so gonna be a tiring release date. My god. Well, look, relax, enjoy the praise that you are very likely to get. I'll do my best to push this to as many of, you know, people from my audience as possible as well, because it's deserved. Absolutely amazing stuff.